Hello everyone, Joe here. Sorry about the delay in getting back to you, but you can hear from the voice. Well, I think I've had a pretty bad cold this last few days. But anyway, we missed out a few slides at the back end of last week's session, and I'd just like to run through a few of them right now, just to make sure that everybody's up to date and has all the information that they need. If you're in business, whether in a big way or a small way, health and safety is a big matter for you. There's no question about this. We owe a duty of care to ourselves, to our employees, and to all of those around us. It's a major issue for big organisations who invest an awful lot of money, who employ professional managers to make sure that their health and safety obligations are in place and that they're managed properly, and so on and so forth. But for a small organisation, or indeed a one-man band, this is a major issue. Even bigger, I would say, for small businesses, because if there is an accident, it can affect the viability of the business completely from day one. Non-compliance is not even a runner. And if you think that compliance is expensive, then try having an accident. And if you're working from home, just think of it. You might be working in the home office, and you've got a PC, you've got a computer, printer, kettle, radio, shredder, fan, lamp, cordless phone, God knows what else, and the whole thing's running on one 13-amp plug. Now there's a good idea, isn't it? And what can we do about training? How do we actually get training that's appropriate to our business? Well, hsa.ie, that website has a lot of good information that can help us find sources of training that meet our needs at a reasonable cost. Now let's look at some other terms that are commonly used in business. Firstly, let's look at the word estimate. Well, an estimate, we're all familiar with that term. An estimate is just that. It's not binding, it's for information only. And if you're sending an estimate to somebody, it must be clearly marked as being an estimate. Quite simple and quite straightforward. Turning to quotations, well, quotations are a wee bit different because they constitute a formal offer and they are bound by time. They should always be bound by time. In other words, this estimate is valid for 30 days or whatever. And this can form part of a contract. A contract exists when you make an offer, somebody accepts that offer, and at that stage a contract is in place. But you must always check that the people you're dealing with, what terms and conditions they may impose. They may, for example, insist on all purchases being governed by a purchase order system. So you should always ask, do you have a purchase order system? And if so, get a purchase order number as part of the acceptance of contract. That way everything should work out okay and you reduce the risk of not being paid. Terms and conditions can be imposed on any contract subject to the agreement of all the parties involved. And if you're wondering where would I get suitable terms and conditions for my business, well, look at your competitors and see what they do. I don't think anybody doubts the need to have insurance if you're in business. Business insurance is certainly vital, but we need to assess the cost of this insurance for our business plan, because this can be a significant ongoing cost throughout the year, and we need to be able to forecast that with some certainty. We need to assess precisely what we need, and what we suggest is you draw up a shopping list, rather like the one on the screen here, which covers public liability, professional indemnity, loss of earnings, key employee, chattels and equipment. Now chattels, that's defined as movable property, such as furniture and business equipment and that sort of stuff. Everything that belongs to the business and is vital for the continuance of that business. Fire, theft, flood, pestilence, that means plague. Unlikely, but nonetheless you never know. Travel insurance, employees, extended insurance, and of course employer liability insurance is in there too. And if we're running vehicles, well, that goes without saying. And if we are in premises, we need to insure the contents if the premises are not our own. So the next question is, who can quote us for all of this, and how do I go about finding out these costs? Finding business insurance is not complicated. It is time consuming, and it does mean that you're going to make a few phone calls, you're going to spend some time on the web and so on and so forth. But there are several ways of making sure that you have reliable quotations. First one would be to make phone calls to local business insurance brokers. These are not usually the people who deal with car insurance or domestic insurance, but there are business insurance brokers around, and if you look at Golden Pages, you'll find that there's a few in this area who might just be able to help. There are also a number of professional bodies who may be able to help members. For example, if you're a member of the Small Firms Association, you may be able to get a quote through them. Other organisations like FBD, who are mainly known for farm insurance, but they do a big range of business insurance as well. Or you may go directly to insurance companies such as Quindirect, and there are many of these companies out there. Now, all of these are examples only, and they're not meant to be an endorsement of any sort for any particular company or organisation. I think at the end of the day, it's down to you to choose which insurance package suits you best and judge accordingly. One good thing about all these companies is that they seem to have a selection of businesses and insurance plans for businesses already in stock. So in other words, if you go in and say, I'm a hairdresser, I need an insurance package that meets the needs of my business, they can go to the top shelf, pick one down and say, yep, this is the package for you, and then they quote you accordingly, which makes it very easy to actually compare the costs and the benefits of each insurance package, and I suggest that's one way you look at it. So that's this short session for now, and we hope that has brought some clarification to the whole area of insurance quotations and some of the outstanding legal issues that we didn't get around to covering last week. So next session is all about the business plan, and we're going to have the business plan workshop on Tuesday night, so we'll see you all then. Thanks for listening. Bye.